Anjanashalakaya Chaksharunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Namaha Shri Chaitanya Guru Vishnu Staptitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupadamahyam Dadati Swapadanti Panchakalpatam Pasinda Vyajpatitana Bhavana Vyashtabhyam Mantakoti Vaishwandiki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 9, Passing Away of Bhishmadev in the Presence of Lord Krishna. We are reading text 17. Tasmad idam divyam tantram vyavasaya bharatashraba tasya anuvihito anatha nata pahi prajo prabhu. Word-to-word translation. Tasmat, therefore, idam, this, divyam tantram, enchantment of providence only, vyavasaya, ascertaining, bharatashraba, O best among the descendants of Bharata, tasya, by him, anuvihito, as desired, anatha, helpless, natha, O master, pahi, just take care of, praja, of the subjects, prabhu, O Lord. Translation. O best among the descendants of Bharata, Yudhishthira, I maintain therefore that all this is within the plan of the Lord. Accepting the inconceivable plan of the Lord, you must follow it. You are now the appointed administrative head, and my Lord, you should now take care of those subjects who are now rendered helpless. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The popular saying is that a housewife teaches the daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. Similarly, the Lord teaches the world by teaching the devotee. The devotee does not have to learn anything new from the Lord because the Lord teaches the sincere devotee always from within. Whenever, therefore, a show is made to teach the devotee, as in the case of teachings of Bhagavad Gita, it is for teaching the less intelligent man. A devotee's duty, therefore, is to ungrudgingly accept tribulations of the Lord as a benediction. The Pandavas were advised by Bhishmadev to accept the responsibility of administration without hesitation. The poor subjects were without protection due to the battle of Kurukshetra, and they were awaiting the assumption of power by Maharaja Yudhishthira. A pure devotee of the Lord accepts tribulations as favors from the Lord. Since Lord is absolute, there is no mundane difference between the two. Hare Krishna. So I was trying to prepare for this, and it was a little difficult because this is a small purport, though it has some significant impact on teachings. I could not find anything online which exclusively spoke about this particular verse. And the other difficulty was, like in the past two chapters, like the last chapter, Kunti Devi prayers, and the current one, Bhishmadev passing away. In both these chapters, all our devotees have spoken so much. Basically, there is nothing left uncovered. However, I was lucky to find the 3-day seminar on Bhishmadev by Romapada Swami Maharaj. On the third day, he spoke on this particular verse. And what I'm doing today is I am trying to take word to word from whatever Maharaj said and repeat it in front of you. I hope I'll be successful in placing the message without messing it up. Please bless me. The key words in this particular purport, Srila Prabhupada observes 3 or 4 different points. One of them is that the Lord teaches a sincere devotee from within, and there is no need for these devotees to be taught from outside. So Srila Prabhupada makes it very clear, whenever you see the Lord making a show of teaching a devotee, it's not really for the devotee, it is for lesser intelligent people like me. And he also makes another observation, all these, teachings like in Bhagavad Gita and others are for less intelligent people, because the less intelligent people have to be taught. And I find Bhagavad Gita to be very difficult. Right now, I'm studying Bhagavad Gita as part of Bhakti Shastri, and it's so difficult to understand. So if it is meant for less intelligent people, you can understand where, I stand. In the translation itself, there are 3 important phases or keywords that we have to look at. Plan of the Lord. And we can see, even in the earlier verses of this particular chapter, plan of the Lord has been mentioned so many times. Accepting the inconceivable plan of the Lord is another, phrase that is being used. And finally, Bhishma Dev says, you must follow it. It's an instruction. So what does these 3 statements tell us? These 3 directly asks us to surrender to the Lord, or Sharanagati. That is what it is saying. It's the plan of the Lord, and you will not be able to conceive it, and you must follow it. And though Bhishma Dev is telling Yudhishthira Maharaj here, because Yudhishthira Maharaj is contemplating how to go about it, it's more for people like me that it's being said. And that is where the show is being done, that Yudhishthira Maharaj is being taught upon, but it's not really for Yudhishthira Maharaj, it's for people like us. And if you even look at Yudhishthira Maharaj, he's so much capable. And even though he's so much capable, he is not passionate. If he was passionate, he would not have had the doubt, can I take over the administration? Will I be able to do justice? Why all these sins I have committed? All this comes only because he's in the mode of goodness, and he understands what has to be done and what he has done to achieve what he has to be done. Whereas if it was a passionate person, for example, if it was Ravana, Duryodhana, Kamsa, or anyone else, the moment they find power, they will grab at it. There is going to be no second thought about it. Oh, here is power. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to be lording over it. So that's the difference between a pure devotee and a passionate person. So a devotee's duty is to ungrudgingly accept the tribulations from the Lord as benedictions. That is what we need to understand here. When we sign up for being Krishna's devotee, then whatever Krishna wants, that should be signed up for. There is no exceptions. You sign up, then you have to do whatever Krishna wants to do. That is the whole idea. And one verse comes to my mind is Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadya Anavratam Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Bhaktiruttamam. And the word Krishna in this particular verse is stressed on. What it means is whatever service you take should be taken up exclusively for Krishna, and it's only for Krishna. There should be nothing else before, after, or whenever. So we all come upon services in our devotional life, whether it is in the temple, we are preparing for Janmashtami, or Govardhan Puja, or we are preparing for Sankirtan, or we are book distribution, whatever. We are all at different levels, of devotional service, and we have some or the other difficulty in practicing our devotional service, even if it is as simple as chanting. I deal with this problem in chanting, that though I complete my 16 rounds, I have so much difficulty in doing one good round. So what we have to understand is, whenever we find difficulty coming at us, we should take it as a benediction and try to overcome it. It is the opportunity to focus on Krishna's lotus feet. We need to stay focused at his lotus feet. Krishna will take full charge of the situation as well as you and guide you through. The choice that we have is to struggle and come up on our own strength, or to surrender to the Lord. The Pandavas could have easily said, we are capable, we have so much strength, we have so many other benedictions we have got from so many pious people and the gods. So why should we surrender to Krishna? Let us do it on our own. But they did not. They surrendered to Krishna and they were guided by Krishna. They did not have to go for the exile. They could have fought the war then itself and they could have taken back the kingdom. Whereas Duryodhana, on the other hand, was always thinking, I can take this all with my own strength, and his plans were foiled repeatedly. So, if you choose to surrender, then tribulations are also benedictions. It's an impetus to take further shelter of Krishna. We need to grab more tightly to the lotus feet of the Lord Sri Krishna. Thank you, Prabhujis and Matajis. That's all I have for today. It's a very short and small, discourse. That's all I could prepare for. Any guidance from you, any questions, any clarifications, please let me know. I'll try to address them as best as I can. Otherwise, I'll seek guidance from the senior devotees.
Hare Krishna, Ravi Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Adam, if you're looking.
Yeah, Adam Prabhuji.
Hi. For a self-professed unintelligent man, you have certainly a very likable character. Your desire to learn is very apparent. That's great. But I see what seems to be an apparent contradiction. Maybe you can, or anyone else can help with that. The other day, I forget Mataji, I don't see her on right now, but she had the question in regards to protection in verse 12, saying, Pandavas, yet you were protected by the Brahmanas, God, and religion on 12. And then here in the purport, it says, the poor subjects were without protection due to the battle of Kurukshetra. In both cases, is it referring to the Pandavas, or is it different timelines?
Prabhuji, I think that's a very good question and very interesting one. However, I'm thinking, in this particular verse 17, it is the people, the common people that is being referred to who do not have protection because the war has happened. And, as we studied in, chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna also says the same thing, where because of the war, lot of men have lost their lives. And now there's so many widows who are without protection and so many kids who are without protection. The concept of Varna Shankara concept there. And I think that is what Bhishma Dev or Prabhupada is referring when, unprotected people are being mentioned here. It's not Pandavas that are being mentioned. I hope that is clear. If somebody else wants to, clarify, please take it up. Hare Krishna. Lingaraju Prabhu, looks like there is no more discussion or questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for the short and crisp class.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
I had more in my thought that got, what catched me today, what caught me, or where I paid attention today was that accepting the plan of the Lord ungrudgingly. So that kind of caught my attention.
Yeah, Mataji.
Because at one point everybody accepts the Lord's plan, but with mood is very, very much varying depending on our relationship with Him and maturity. So it's a big range of growth, I feel. Because normally when we see how people accept God's plan is when one or one's loved one is faced with death, where we don't have power to change it. So we kind of surrender to the inevitable, but with the feeling of grudge meaning not really like, how do you put, not like the grudge that we normally verbalize or the vocabulary from normally, but some form of unwillingness, and a feeling of this is not right, it's injustice, and then we accept it somehow. Then feels it's not very complete acceptance, and that resentment and that raw portion of heart remains. So I really appreciate Prabhupada's use of words, how he can communicate what he wants to communicate to us, and how deep each sentence of Prabhupada could be. So just wanted to share that, Prabhu. If you have any thoughts, please add to it, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. I think what you said is very true about, particularly the use of the word ungrudgingly. That is certain things that come to me when I read Prabhupada's purports, or even when you listen to him talking, when he's giving a discourse, he's so clear and his words are so weighted. Like, in the very next sentence, this is probably Maharaj's words, when you sign up for being Krishna's devotee, whatever Krishna, then you sign up for whatever Krishna wants. That's my bad. But I see Prabhupada using these words. This pierces the heart directly, like when he uses the words like unalloyed and devotional service. There's so many, and particularly in this case, particularly with me, whenever things are going in my way, I'm like, oh Krishna, thank you. And when something goes bad, that is when the grudge comes up and it's so difficult to accept it. Yeah, Mataji, particularly the scenario you mentioned, when there is no closure, or we think there is no closure, but there is nothing we can do about it. That is when the grudge hits hard, and it's so difficult to overcome it. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Lingaraju Prabhu.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I had some thoughts about accepting. Many a times we don't accept the problems in life. That means, we never come to a situation that, yeah, Krishna, you gave it to me. Thank you very much. I accept. It's not easy. I'm thinking, I know, but ultimately we have to accept anyway. So the way I'm thinking is, a soldier comes to a battlefield, and he's trying his best to get rid of all these enemies, and then he will do his best, and he knows he's in a situation that he's helpless, but still he fights, and ultimately he surrenders and he accepts. So in our situation, it's kind of a thought, it is not nothing right or wrong or something like that. But what I'm thinking is, say, if when we come to a helpless situation, then we accept. But that coming to helpless situation, it takes some time to understand for us, and we'll try all our strength and intelligence and etc. to see whether we can we'll be able to what do you call, we'll be able to get rid of the problems or anything like that. So how do I need to say, if Vrindavan Vasis, the moment something happens, they will say immediately Krishna, and I don't think I have that or we have that situation. Yes, accept Krishna. Yeah, Krishna, yes, please let me know. In spite of, at least we are aware of it, and then we are there is no other go, we have to accept anyway. And then, as you said, we are already in ISKCON, in spite of knowing everything, and when we say, hey, let me try on my own, it's not going to happen anyway. So at least the awareness is there, we will accept. What is but still that intelligence doesn't kick in for us sometimes. So we'll try our own methods to see how we can get rid of that issues, right? So it's kind of a challenging for me. So how do we handle this situation?
Prabhuji, thank you for your wonderful insights. It's true what you said. For me also, in fact, it's the intelligence doesn't even kick in, Prabhuji, for me particularly. When things are going fine, everything is good, and something is going wrong, then by instinct I start struggling. It never becomes, like Prabhupada so clearly says, tribulations or benedictions. That never kicks in for me. I struggle and struggle until somebody taps on my head and or shoulder and says, hey, pray to the Lord. It's his plan. And thank you for bringing that up, Prabhuji. I don't know if somebody else wants to share their realizations.
Hare Krishna, Prabhus. Sri Vallabha here. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'd like to build on Balaram Prasad Prabhu's question. And this actually came up in Prabhupada Maharaj's lecture last week. So he was talking about, again, react versus respond. And, for all the various reasons, bad things happen to good people, and all the various things that do come across in our lives one way or the other, because we are in this material world. So the first thing is the reaction, right? The reaction, how we react to these stimulus and stimuli in terms of what's happening to us. That is the very, very first thing that happens, the reaction. And Maharaj was explaining that this reaction is primarily driven by the modes of material nature. Okay, so when we say that, it is driven by the gunas that we carry with us. So if you take the example of Bharat Maharaj, for instance, when he first hears about how his eldest brother Lord Ram, was being treated unjustly and being banished from the kingdom into the forest, right? His reaction was really to go at his own mother's throat, literally, right? He was so angry. Similarly, the way Bhima reacted, right, in multiple occasions, he was out to go and kill each and every one of these, Kauravas. And so those are the immediate reactions, and the reaction is also about the gunas, as Maharaj was explaining. So some of us are in the mode of passion. There are many out there in the world that are in the mode of ignorance, and therefore, they react the way they do. But importantly, what Maharaj was talking about was how do we turn that reaction into response? How do we response? And how do we respond in the right way? So we as devotees have the knowledge. And with the knowledge, we should also use our intelligence to be able to discern and be able to elevate our consciousness so that we can respond in a mode of goodness. So no matter where we are, we could be in the mode of ignorance, we could be in the mode of passion, we could be in a combination of both. But our goal, our objective through practice, through abhyasa, is to elevate our consciousness to respond in a mode from a mode of goodness. So we should then move, into a mode of goodness to say, this is Krishna's plan, accept it, and also respond accordingly, in terms of how, again, following Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, which we've been reading over the last, several days. Taking the guidance from these three sources, moving into the mode of goodness, being able to respond from that. So that takes a lot of practice. There's no, easy way. It's easier said than done. But this is something that we all have to practice because we all have, inherent and intrinsic gunas that we carry with us. Some of us are very angry. We tend to get angry very easily. Some of us tend to bear grudges. Some of us tend to be very judgmental and critical. These are all gunas that we all carry with us. These are like ropes that bind us down to this material world. So understanding, introspecting, number one, is very important, that yes, I do have these qualities. I need to be conscious about them. Secondly, be able to elevate ourselves during situations like these, which call for further introspection and further effort from our part to be able to move to the next, to move to the mode of goodness. And acting on that platform is very important. So that's why the response is more important. Reactions are very common. Reactions happen to everybody in this material world, and we see this even in the pastimes that we read in the Bhagavatam, right, and in the Ramayana, all the various Vedic scriptures, all the various Puranas and Upanishads. We hear of all of these reactions that happen. How Durvasa Muni reacted, how Daksha reacted. All of these are reactions. But then, along with the reactions, also we need to understand that these are like Prabhupada is saying, these are things that are being demonstrated for the less intelligent. We have to learn from those and recognize those situations and then concentrate on how we can respond from the mode of goodness. Hope that helps, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Any thoughts or realizations?
Chandana Mataji want to say something?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the class, RadhaKunjabihari Prabhu and Sri Vallabha Prabhu. Nice, such a beautiful answer. I was just wondering, is there an example that you could talk about where the response was in the mode of goodness, just so that, I can kind of reference something like that?
Sure, Mataji. So one that comes to my mind, I mean, there are many. Ambrish Maharaj, for instance, when he was being cursed by Durvasa Muni, who tends to get angry very easily, during the pastime where Ambrish Maharaj was advised to break the fast after a year-long Ekadasi. right? And the demon was being created and was coming after him. He fully accepted it. It was not like he reacted in a way or responded in a way where he was angry at Durvasa Muni and detested it. Parikshit Maharaj is another good example, how he accepted his eventuality, right? Similarly, Lord Ram, in terms of being banished and how he just accepted it as a benediction and just very gracefully moved out of the kingdom. So these are all examples where we should try to imbibe and follow.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Prabhu, I was talking in mute. Thank you for the answer. Sorry, the insight what you told us, Shivalabha Prabhu. But in another situation, I was thinking, Prabhu, when my wife got cancer in 2015, it was not easy. And then say me and my wife both accepted. Okay, this is the Krishna's plan. No other go. There is a hopeless situation. So we need to accept. So, but did we just stop? Okay, we accept anyway. 2015, we got this issue. Okay, then do we need to do anything? We'll just accept Krishna's plan and then we'll go with that. But we also did the treatment for another 4 years. So we did our best. You know what I mean? We did our best. In any situation, because this Krishna gives us in every situation, but are we going to try on our own and put some efforts and endeavors, or do we just accept what Krishna gives? Is another question. You know what I mean? So, but we need to do our own best also, correct? So sometimes we cannot just say, Krishna, you have given to me, okay, I'll accept, thank you. It's not going to happen, right? We will have to do our best to see how we can, because till the last moment we have to do whatever the best we can do. But that doesn't mean that, oh, Krishna, I can do more than Krishna. No, it's not like that. But still we need to try our best. So that was the context I was speaking actually. But I now just open up.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Balram Prasad Prabhu, first of all, my humble obeisances to you. What you've gone through is simply not ordinary. I mean, and what you've done then, more than anyone else could do. I mean, that I can think of. So, in terms of endeavoring and, the situation that you were put into and that you're still going through, I just I cannot even fathom the amount of complexity, the difficulty, and the strength that a person would need to be able to get out of that kind of a situation. And you went through that so well. I mean, even now my heart is touched. I just, when I think about it, I shudder. To think how Balram Prasad Prabhu, you have grown so much, you've gone through so much, you've done so much, and you've also lost so much in this whole journey by way of losing Mahati Gopi Mataji. So what I would say is that, like I said, it's very difficult for anybody to get through that. And endeavor is very, very important. And that's the reason why even Pandavas were encouraged to pick up their weapons. So in this case, Arjuna, who was on the point of leaving the battlefield, Krishna advised him and said, look, the best response here is picking up your bow and fighting, putting in your full endeavor, doing what you have to do as a Kshatriya. So what even Bhishma Dev is saying is, as long as we're doing it in guidance, in line with the guidance of these three sources, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, then we are completely supported, number one. Two, we're completely supported in the sense we are free from any karmic reactions. And secondly, we will be victorious at the end, one way or the other. In life and in death, we will be victorious. We know for sure Mahati Gopi Mataji is definitely back in the spiritual planets. So she is victorious. And doing what you did, I cannot even say, there's so much that you've done that there is definitely one way to look at it is, I'm not qualified to say this, but in my heart, I strongly believe there is not going to be another life for you. So things like that, right? So when we're doing it with in alignment with these three sources, and you're going according to Krishna's plan, then there is no question that we will be victorious at the end of it. That confidence is something that we should always take with us. And Krishna says that very clearly, right? Name bhakta pranashati, right? So we will be victorious. That word is something we take and keep close to our heart and proceed with confidence.
Thank you, Prabhu. Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Lingaraju Prabhu?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 7:37. If there's no more discussion, no, I'll leave it up to you to close the call. Thank you all devotees, particularly Shatarupa Mataji, Alex Prabhu, Vallabha Prabhu, and Balaram Das Prabhu for participating and giving us, sharing your realizations with us.